in your calculator, you could type that in. Okay, so that will give us 0 and -3. Now, I don't want to subtract 1.5 again and add 1.5 again, because that will take me back to a decimal. So even though up here, right, I repeated the same process because it was easy, what's going to be easier here is that on this first jump, right, we did 1.5, but now that we're away from the fraction, on the next jump, let's go back to 1, right? So now let's add 1 and subtract 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1, and -3 minus 1 is -4. You could have completely different numbers in this table and still be graphing the correct parabola. Okay, what's more important is that it ends up being symmetric, which means we should be seeing our matching values out here. So now we're going to start plugging them in. Now, we have to be careful here because we are plugging this -4 in for x. The negative is happening in front of that x squared, right? So you could sort of think of this problem as saying -1 times x squared minus 3x plus 3. So when we plug this into the calculator, the negative is happening outside of the parentheses, and the -4 is happening inside of the parentheses. Okay, if you actually want to type into your calculator -1 times, and then in parentheses put your -4 squared, that would be the exact same thing. -3 times -4 plus 3. Okay, that gives us -1. If you're concerned that you didn't get your values right over here, don't start working down. Jump down here to the bottom, right? And you could change your -4 into a 1. And check to make sure you get the same number out, right? That'd keep you from waiting longer to find out if you're doing it correctly. Let's go ahead and plug in the 0. Oh, that's not a 0. Gives me out a 3. Okay, so now when I scroll up and I move over, I have a larger number than 0 that I need to plug in. Okay, so you can either delete and start over, or if you hit your second button, right, your light blue button if you're using one of the blue calculators, and then hit delete, up above it, it says INS. That actually means insert. Okay, so I can start inserting extra spaces. Now, if I keep typing, it'll just keep inserting. So you do eventually have to move your cursor over. Okay, I'm going to delete out that extra space I put in to make it stop inserting and then to just overwrite. Okay, so I can do the same thing over here. I can do second insert, -1 point, and then I'm just going to move my cursor back and then back over the 0 so it stops inserting to 1.5. That gives me a 5.25. Okay, now we need to insert -3. Delete out my extra spaces up there. That gives me 3, which it should. So I'm all matched up nice and neat. So now I can start graphing. Okay, so I'm going to plot the point -4, -1, -3, +3. Here, we just have to approximate. It's a realistic thing that happens with quadratics. We can't avoid it. So -1.5, comma +5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.25. So I need to go a little bit up above 5. My marker's kind of thick, so I can't do it perfectly. It's fine. 0, 3. And 1, -1. Here's my parabola, which I made kind of wonky, but. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. After this is done, the sub is going to pass out the worksheet I want you to be working on. It's graphing with these. Okay, I have the answer key posted up on the front board. So if you need to check answers, if you're lost, if you feel like you're confused, help each other out. Check the answers on the front board. You guys know the drill. You can work with each other as long as you are working. Okay, you can listen to music as long as your devices are face down or put away. The worksheet is going to get collected at the end of class. If it's a 2-hour delay, I will adjust, obviously, based on that, but I am going to have the sub collect it either way because I'll be checking for your participation points for the day. If it's a 2-hour delay tomorrow, I don't know at this point when I'm making the video, and you don't get through much, just don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll answer questions or we'll go over it, whatever, and fix what we need to touch base on Monday. So have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday.